So it turns out the Presley family and the Travolta family may have a family tie. We are going to get into that. We are going to talk about how Scientology is being reprimanded in the UK and some other protest news. So much to talk about today, you guys. Hey, everybody, and welcome. I'm Natalie. This is Scientology Life After a Cult. We talk about Scientology, culty things, my 35 years in this cult, and leaving with 3 generations of my family. Good to see everybody here this morning. Oh my gosh, look at that right off the bat. Windy City Thetan watches here. Good to see you. We're going to be looking at some of your videos. You were just on fire as per usual out there in Chicago. We're going to look at some of Windy City's videos. I'm hoping Eric Rader shows up because he had something cool happen when he was out and about. We're going to look at that. All kinds of stuff, everybody. Thank you to the moderators for helping out this morning. You guys give them lots of aloha and love. It is a Monday. It is a good day. I don't know where you guys are, but here in Minnesota, it is beyond beautiful today. It is one of those days late in October where you're like, oh, this is why I live here in Minnesota. The biggest question I get is why did you leave Hawaii? Well, mainly because of the cult, but honestly, I don't know if I could live in the heat all the time, but I do like to go back and see my family. Hey, Alex, good to see you. Mar, good to see you. I posted that pumpkin, carved pumpkin you sent me on the community page. It's awesome. All right, let's get into it. We have so much to cover. Seriously, and stick around because again, we're going to get into this whole Travolta Presley thing and we're going to go step by step with it. Hey, MD Media 18, great to see you. Side note, you guys, if you're not following Faces of Scientology here on YouTube, check it out. MD Media 18 is out doing videos and then uploading them, not live streaming, which means the images and the videos are so clear. And he is likely identifying some Sea Org members whose families have not seen them in a long time. And I might be wondering if their loved one is even still there, because we know Scientology got a history of hiding people or, making up things about them and what happened to them. That is not true. I know, shocking. All right, let's get into all of this good stuff here. Let's see. Let's start out. Do you guys remember, I think it was yesterday, we were talking about twins in Scientology and how I've had this thought multiple times on like, why does there seem to be a good amount of twins in Scientology? And one of you sent me a video from a little while ago from growing up in Scientology with Sterling was on it and Mike Brown as well, talking about this topic. And there's something that these 3 men have in common that I even was not aware of. So we're going to take a look at that quick because I thought this was interesting. And thank you to the person who sent it to me.
I wanted twins so bad. Every single time I was like, please be twins, please be twins, please be
Really?
twins. Oh yeah.
Did you have twins in your family before though? Like, because it skips a generation. I've heard.
Dude,
He was a twin, dummy.
I was a twin.
Wait a second. I know that, Aaron. Sorry. No.
Do you have twins in your family, Aaron? We need Sterling's blood sugar is getting a little low.
In my
he was
defense,
exercising
I
one
have
morning.
never met Aaron's, and Aaron,
You never knew my brother.
I never knew your brother the same way you don't.
This is where Sterling really tries to backpedal because he totally knows Aaron had a twin. And tragically and unfortunately, Aaron's twin passed away some years ago, but he is a twin.
No, Justin. So it hasn't.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Justin is Sterling's brother. They were in the Sea organization and also twins.
Occurred to me. I don't think that. But again, I don't want to lie.
Dude, how about twins running all 3 of our families? That's insane.
That is crazy.
And we're all on
That
here
is
chatting it up.
crazy.
Wow. Black t-shirts and everything. Now it makes sense.
Navy blue.
2
Navy
black
blue.
t-shirts.
Now, Mike Brown has twins. So Aaron, twin, Sterling, a twin, Mike Brown has twins. So I don't know. David Miscavige, twin. Again, could just be, the numbers work out that in any population, a certain amount of people might be twins. I just think it's interesting. Now, I have cousins who are twins, but I've not had twins. I'm not a twin. Although my sister would often be mistaken for my twin. We're 2 years apart, but we would get mixed up often. Even still now, actually. That's why I tell her, if you're walking around my town, you better have a smile on your face. So people don't think it's me walking around with any type of, sourpuss face on. Not that Lana does that all the time, but there was a period. There was a period of time. Not that way today. Joe says my mom and uncle are twins. Oh, yeah. Andrew Davey has a twin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she lives in Clearwater. There was a whole thing where she got busted for drugs and taking drugs in exchange for rent. It was in the Tampa Bay Times. You guys can go look it up. All right, so moving on from that, let's touch a little bit about the whole Diddy thing. You guys may have heard Sean P. Diddy Combs. His bodyguard has been talking, and he has a theory about Scientology's tie to Diddy and certain behaviors, and given what we know about Danny Masterson and what he did and is in prison for. It is a possibility. I don't know. Let's look at this and let's talk about it. You guys watch this and tell me what you think. And if you're on the replay, jump in those comments.
About them accusing Diddy of having cameras in his house so he can record celebrities and politicians and use it as blackmail.
I firmly believe that's true, because in that sector of people, a lot of them practice Scientology. And Scientology, that was their thing. They would get people in compromising positions. They'll hold that footage over their head and get them to agree to things. I think he one of them Scientology people, bro, because that's probably where he got that from. A lot of powerful guys operate like that. So the things I'm seeing with him, it all makes sense.
What do you think about?
Interesting. Now, here's what I think. I don't think that Diddy was a Scientologist. I think that this behavior of videotaping people in compromising situations to then blackmail them later has been going on since, I guess I would say, since there were cameras. I mean, let's be real, especially more so when you could hide cameras the way that you can now. I don't think that makes him a Scientologist, but the behavior, because again, the commonalities between what Diddy was doing in terms of, videoing a lot of what went on with his freak offs and these parties, and using it as leverage against people in the entertainment industry. Then you've got, Danny Masterson, who essayed multiple women and is now in prison for it. Close ties with, Ashton Kutcher and Diddy, like the three of them. So was the behavior, did he go to a party and learn, hey, you can do this, and then just decided to do it and try to do it himself? Is that what Danny Masterson was trying to do? I don't know. It's just disgusting. It's beyond disgusting. I don't know how. Girl, okay, listen. Here's the thing. Question I get a lot is, how is it that Scientology can continue with all of the things that they have done, with all of the firsthand accounts of the abuses and the SA and all of the things? Well, I would pose that same question. How did P. Diddy Combs, how did this go on for so long? This has been going on for years. Epstein, all of them. How does it go on? People don't say anything. People don't report it, but eventually it does get found out. And now we're seeing, justice in real time, the truth coming out. So it gives me hope for former members of Scientology, maybe one day having justice for any crimes that were perpetuated or committed against them that are in this same genre. So anyways, I'm just saying it is perplexing. It blows my mind. After stories like that, it's like, I got to go watch some feel good stuff to restore my faith in humanity and the world. Yep. Paula, money sometimes buys silence. That is true. That is very, very, very true. Very true. Yeah. He uses Scientology tactics. Who just said that? It went flying by. Bina. He used Scientology tactics. Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, I'm like, I don't know which one came first. Because let's not forget, L. Ron Hubbard, just a couple years prior to publishing the book Dianetics that started it all, was involved in a sex cult with Jack Parsons. He was following Aleister Crowley. So even back then, L. Ron Hubbard ran off with Jack Parsons' money and his girlfriend after participating in the sex cult rituals to try and bring about the Antichrist. It's just crazy. It's also crazy, but there's a lot of commonalities there. But like I said, for me, I'm like, okay, well, The truth will continue to come out. We are going to keep saying it and sharing the stories of people who are former Scientologists because I have hope it'll come out. Speaking of stories of former Scientologists, you guys following the SP Chef? If not, you should. He just dropped a video sharing about his 25 years in Scientology. Let's take a look at a clip.
I really grew up in Scientology. As soon as I was able to read and write, I did Scientology courses. I did different kinds of auditing. I did the various forms of drills that they have, as well as go out when I was a child with my other siblings or with other Scientology children to give out leaflets and booklets and trying to recruit people in that sort of way for Scientology. And I grew up very much in a sort of elite way of thinking of us as Scientologists, that we Scientologists are more elite than everybody else, that we know the truth and everybody else is just ignorant, is just stupid, really, is working for absolutely no reason, for no purpose in life, really. But
I love Samuel, the SP Chef, and he's speaking a lot of truth. And it's not something uncommon, not just to cults, but, you know, sometimes there's even people in other religions or groups who might feel that they have the only way and that, you know, they just like it they're somehow better than or no better or well, you know, I mean, I know the true answers. We have the true answers. We are the only one with the answers. I mean, ask Tom Cruise. You better hope if you get in a car accident, Tom Cruise or a Scientologist is nearby, because Tom Cruise said once during that whole crazy turtleneck video that basically they're the only ones who can help. Oh, it's nutty. Oh, Marilyn, good to see you. Hello, darling. L. Ron Hub call, good to see you. Yep, Samuel is an awesome guy. I agree. I love that he's sharing his story as well. Side note, thank you so much to the members. When you get a membership in the channel, it really does help to support the channel. There's a join link on my channel, and you can also go in the description of this video. Hopefully it's there. If not, I will be putting it there after this video, along with links to all of the stories and videos that we're going to be talking about. But Nancy is sharing it in the chat. Thank you for that. Okay, so now let's go over to Los Angeles, California here. Scientology audit, Streets LA, William Good, the Good father, the man who started the Scientology live stream protest a year ago at the Hollywood Testing Center. Out and about, minding his own business, comes across what? A Dianetics booth. Some Scientology recruiting going on at this event. I know, not a surprise. They cannot often recruit outside of their buildings anymore on account of so many people live streaming and showing everybody how and why it's a human trafficking cult. So it really cramps their style when people do that. So William Good is out there, runs into this Dianetics table. We're going to look at a clip of the video. Something really awkward about dude who is at the table, I will say that. But let's take a look at this video.
Look at Dora. I haven't seen Dora in forever. Hi, Dora. How are you doing? So, unfortunately, I've been deemed a suppressive person. Okay. So you're going to get in trouble for talking. You're going to have to go through a hell of an audit session. So that's Dora. Her family worries about her. She used to work over at the test center over in Hollywood. But we kind of closed that place down over the last, say, 8 months. Because we've been exposing Scientology as being a cult, unfortunately. Okay. So because of that, there's a price to pay. See, Dora's walking away. She knows there's a big trouble. But yeah, what do you think about L. Ron Hubbard? He said that you smoke to prevent yourself from getting cancer. Do you agree with that?
I haven't heard that.
No, he said that. He said
he gives some strange acknowledgments. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. They're actually very not appropriate to the situation and what William Good is saying. It's very much a Scientology response. It's part of the training routines as they do drills to try and end conversations, to continue conversations. But it's just a bizarre interaction. Lisa says he was strange. He asked, why are you telling me this? Well, which that wasn't even the strange thing to me, because I could see why he'd ask. He obviously doesn't know. He's not on YouTube watching all these protests that have been going on for a year. All of the things happening on SPTV exposing Scientology, he is obviously not watching. So to him, it might look like it's out of left field. Who is this guy? Why is he showing up? It's strange. Yes. Does it matter to you? Not to me. He's just acting. So that's an acknowledgement in Scientology. L. Ron Hubbard said that if you give a solid acknowledgement, that you basically will shut the person up. Thank you. That's what he is trying to do.
The way to prevent you get cancer from not smoking. So it's kind of strange, right?
Why are you coming up to me like this?
I'm just because you're out here in the public, and Scientology is a cult. It is a cult, and because you guys have been using a legal system against protesters in ways that are kind of really unethical, to the point where you've costed all the people that you guys get.
Yeah, he's getting very uncomfortable, and he has no idea why William is there, or I think even who he is, but he's going to find out. He's going to find out, because let me tell you, friends, what's going to happen to this guy. Usually what happens when you come in contact with a suppressive person is Scientology needs to go and make sure that you are still totally on board. So he could get a simple interview, maybe not even on the meter, not a full-blown interrogation, and be like, they want to know everything that was said. They would have watched the video. They're going to show him information about William that's not true. They're going to use what Scientology calls their dead agent pack. They're going to get it out and be like, this is this guy, this is what he's doing, so that anything William said gets canceled in the mind of that young man. In theory. In reality, as a former Scientologist who have been on the receiving end of some of this in the past, yeah, they'll do what they can do to kind of correct the mindset, but you still know what you heard. And it sticks. It sticks. It does. Sometimes you got to hear it more than one time. And as a former Scientologist, I can tell you it sticks. It stays in your head. Let's see. Okay, so now that's what was happening there. Let's go over now to Eric Rader, who got some help. He was out there doing his flyers about Scientology, and there was a situation with Staples, and this man seemed like he showed up out of nowhere and completely helped him out.
Oh, dude, thank you so much. You guys see that? Oh, these are trippy Staples too. They're like teeth. Wow, thank you, brother. Let me give you a super sweaty hug. Thank you so much. Wow, we got saved. Woohoo! Thank you so much. That's huge. Wow. We're living right. We are living right.
I just love that. He showed up. He helped him on his staple gun. Ended up getting jammed because I think he had the wrong staples in it. And this guy showed up with a bunch of staples, helped him out. And then Eric Rader went back to flyering. It was just so cool. It really was. I love that. Okay, so let's see. Do I have another one from him? I do. Eric Rader, while he was out, also had a conversation with a local woman, letting her know what's up with Scientology. But the cool thing when you watch the longer than the clip I'm going to show you is she tells them, like, people are getting the word. They're seeing the flyers. They're knowing, they're underhearing in so many different places that Scientology is a cult.
Explain how everything works for real, like what they want you to think, but then what it really does, from the personality test, the pinch test, the little stuff they do when they set up shop at the flea market or whatever, but what its real purpose is, and then the courses you take from the basic courses on up. I did a very large part of the bridge to total freedom, which is the bridge to total bankruptcy and brain dead. But
yeah, he lets her know what's up, and he's right. The bridge to total bankruptcy, that place. Okay, we got to look at something that popped up. It just popped up. Actually, someone emailed it to me in Austin. So you guys know Scientology Austin, they opened their Ideal organization not that long ago, earlier this year. And there have been multiple people out there protesting there. And somebody went on Reddit and shared some information about Austin, saying, do not go in the Scientology building. Literally saying this right now because it feels like Scientology people are really pushing people to go inside. I was walking to go to Target, and when I was about to walk by the Scientology building, a lady was trying to talk to me, standing in front of me in the way. I tried to go around, but then the lady followed me and kept trying to push me to go inside. I told her I'm not interested and I'm busy. As I was trying to walk away fast, she was asking me, "Are you afraid of me? You sound afraid." Like my anxiety is going through the roof. I managed to walk away, but a message to everyone: no matter how much they pressure you, do not go inside the Scientology building. Try to ignore them the best you can, even if they try to block your path. What in the name of Xenu is happening here? This is when you have people from the public, and she's not the only one, actually. If you go and you look enough, there's all kinds of stories like this popping up about Scientologists trying to force people in the buildings in ways that are like, hey, read the social cues. They do not seem to be able to do that at all. And I know that as a former Scientologist, I had to learn social cues, because in the Sea organization, the way that I grew up in Scientology and then was in the Sea organization as a teenager into my young adulthood, those formative years, you get those social cues trained out of you. You are supposed to impinge and get through and not have any buttons. Like, you can talk about anything goes, all of the things. So this was fascinating to me. It really was. It really was. Julie Markham, thank you for being a member for 5 months. That's super cool. Good morning, Natalie. Good morning to you. And by the way, I've been threatening to do this, but I think I'm really going to do it this week. My top 2 membership levels, we are going to do a Zoom call. I just don't know when yet. I thought I could do it on the weekend, but I'm like, ooh, no, actually I can't. But it is upcoming. The top 2 levels of membership on my channel. We're going to be doing a monthly Zoom call, totally stealing the idea from Relatable Reese. They seem to have a lot of fun doing it, and it's a great way that we can connect. I can see you guys as well. So keep that in mind. That is coming. I've been threatening for a couple of weeks, but seriously, I think this is the week. Okay, now let's go to Portland, where Rika was. Okay, this is some weirdness here. I'm going to need you guys to fill me in on what is happening here. Why does Scientology in Portland feel they need armed security to move furniture into a building? What am I missing? What am I missing? So let's look at this. Again, this is Rika out in Portland. I love Rika. Rika's the one who always says to that girl, Tammy, out there, "You're still in a cult, Tammy." And I don't know what it is about it that I love so much when she says that. I just do. I do. All right, let's take a look at this. Again, this is in Portland. This is hired armed security. And in the background, Scientologists staff members are moving furniture into the building. Why this requires armed security, I don't know. Let's take a look.
Are they your client? Are they paying you?
That's not your business. I'm here to protect everyone.
Okay. Well, cool. Thank you for protecting my First Amendment right to free speech. Appreciate it.
She's even moving to block the way so Rika can't see what's going on behind her, which is like, what's going on? It looks like you're just moving furniture, but way to draw attention to yourself, Scientology, and look even more culty than you already did in Portland.
Hi, sir. So you're just going to stand here and just watch me? Okay, cool.
Link down below so you can see the full video. It's just really weird. I couldn't figure it out. Like, what is it about the furniture? So obviously it's not about the furniture that suddenly there's an armed guard out there. Are you moving bars of gold into Scientology? Are there people trapped or hidden in those boxes? I mean, I don't know. That is probably not what's happening, but it's weird, right? Did you guys think it's weird? Joe says she looked awkward. She did. And I hope that security young lady goes home and Googles Scientology and learns what's up. James says Rika would eat that guard alive. Andrew says, well, that shows what the security is for, the camera, not safety. It's just weird. Lisa says, didn't they have trouble with a fridge? Maybe they were trying to prevent another debacle. That was in Kansas City. In Kansas City, Scientology, the staff were trying to get a refrigerator into the building and it wouldn't fit. And it was really very hilarious. And Z News and Auditing Scientology KC caught it on their live stream. But yeah, it was weird. Okay, see, Linda Lou says it's weird too, and Marcy too. And if Marcy says it's weird, then I know for sure that it is weird. I can't figure it out. I don't know. Anywho, we're going to move on from that, but you guys let me know if you figure that out. Because remember, if you see something, say something. You can email me, Natalie@lifeafteraccult.com. Okay, let's go to Chicago. Windy City Satan Watch. Scientology breaking the law, trying to put their signs on the sidewalks when they don't have a permit. No, they don't. And Windy City is reminding them of that.
Hey, Nino, do you guys have permits for these signs out here? Do you have permits for the signs out here? Or should I call the police now? Yeah, that's right. Just want to help you out so you don't get in trouble with the law. You know, these are real crimes, not your fake crimes. So you tell the police that I'm doing something wrong. Now let's move over to the shades real quick. Yeah, if you can get over here real quick. I'm on a schedule.
Wendy is so funny. He really is. I heard he was moving. Oh, I haven't, you know what? I haven't even talked about that because I'm so distraught. Wendy, are you here in the chat? I can't believe you're moving, but I love that you're letting people know, hey, in Chicago, keep an eye out for these things at Scientology, including having their signs outside, which they're not supposed to do unless they get a permit. Yep, Wendy is absolute class. I agree, Lisa. Windy City, keeping everybody honest. Truly, truly, truly. Gotta love it. Absolutely. Okay, now that's not it too. He was on fire. He was there messing up Scientology's photo shoots, all kinds of stuff. Take a look at this. Also letting people know that, hey, that's cult propaganda you were just given.
So you know, it's a cult of Scientology. That's Scientology that just gave you that. Can I have it? Thanks. By the way, that's Scientology. You just got a flyer from Scientology. Do you want that? Yeah, it's Scientology. Poor Janice.
Poor Janice. You're in a cult, Janice. It's cult propaganda, Janice. It's The Way to Happiness, which is a common sense moral guide by Scientology's founder, L. Ron Hubbard. Because I know when I want a comprehensive moral guide and I'm feeling like, you know what, do I need to reevaluate my morals? I'm going to turn to a man that, as I said earlier, was in a sex cult trying to bring about the Antichrist, who created the fake space navy and all of the things. Yeah, I don't think so. Janice, you're barking up the wrong tree there. Okay, Wendy says he will still visit Chicago. Never let him rest. That's right, Scientology. In fact, hold on. Let's wake up the Office of Special Affairs because I want to make sure they hear this, Wendy. David Miscavige has summoned you, Office of Special Affairs. Rise and shine, my lovelies. It is Monday morning and it is a fabulous day. Windy City Satan Watch is on fire. And you know what? He is moving, but he is going to be back in Chicago. And here's the other thing. There are other people who are out there live streaming and protesting in Chicago. And there's probably going to be more, especially after all the fun that Windy City has been doing. So rest assured, Chicago. If Windy himself is not back there, other people will be too. And maybe even I'll visit again. I am overdue for a visit with some friends we made out there. And yeah, it might be time to go back before winter, before it gets too cold. But Office of Special Affairs, rest assured, Windy City Satan Watch is not going far. He is not. Okay, so now let's look at another one where he is just, you can see the recruiters. They were trying to do a photo shoot out there.
Now remember, Xeno was in the far off galaxy and it was overpopulated.
See the Way to Happiness t-shirts that they're wearing, and there's a photographer with a camera. So these are probably professional shoots, photos that are going to be used at an upcoming Scientology propaganda event. My guess is the International Association of Scientologists. That event is happening. I think it's this weekend in the UK. Apostate Alex is all over it. he will be out there along with other people in the UK. So I'm guessing that's what these photos might be for. And Windy City Thetan Watch is just interrupting it and getting in their way and interfering with the production schedule for Scientology for their propaganda videos. So well done, Wendy. Well done. Okay, Alex says, yep, it is this Friday. Okay, fantastic. He will be doing a ton of live streaming so you can follow along. I'll definitely be grabbing. If you guys are watching, send me clips from his videos, timestamps. Tell me what I'm looking at. Natalie at lifeafteroccult.com. And we'll recap a lot of the no doubt fun protesting and exposing of Scientology that's going to be happening in the UK. We're going to get to another story too about the UK and how Scientology is just getting more than their hand slapped there. Let's see. But first, we got to go to Boston. Did anyone go to Boston this weekend? Because I checked it out and Cubs champion 16 is out there and he is often outside the little Dianetics Center there. I think it's a mission there. I'm not sure if it's a full-blown org where he goes. I know they have one. Anyway, Scientology has to, just like in LA, they got to show up at these different community events to try to sell their books and recruit. And that is what was happening. And I love that Cubs was there and he shut them down. But take a look.
You guys know that Scientology is a cult, right? It is, yeah. Don't give her a real name. You could do it. Don't give her a real name, though. You could look it up. You could do it if you want. Just don't give them your real name or info because they'll bug you day in and day out. So you could do it. Just don't give them your info. I protest them every day. Every day. You could look it up online. Yeah, Scientology. You could look up Scientology crimes and see the bad things that this organization does.
And the lady over there is still trying to but look at the tapes. Look at the tapes. They're CDs, not just cassettes anymore.
For me personally, they actually gave me a death threat, one of their members, and I have the video from my live. So that's
this girl's like, no, yeah, you know what? I'm good. I mean, and just these two are just, I don't know. To say they're welcoming, I mean, it's just underwhelming. It really is. Link down below after this live stream so you can watch more of Cubs champion and what he's doing out there in Boston. And he too was on fire because not only did he shut down the Dianetics recruitment table, but there was a Scientology front group at the same event. That's right, James. Cubs is a Jedi fighting the dark side. I love that. That's so true. So one of Scientology's front groups is the Foundation for a Drug-Free World, right? They hand out those truth about drugs booklets and all of those things. And we're going to get into more on how that is getting them in trouble actually in the UK. We're going to get to that story in just a minute. But look at this. These two dudes are out there handing out the drug booklets. At one point they start dancing, which is kind of funny. I swear, you walk by, it's like, what do you the truth about drugs. It almost looks like they could be handing out drugs. Like, hey, come over here. We're handing out some THC samples. Although I don't think it's legal in Boston, but I don't know for sure. Anyways, hardly anyone was picking up what they were putting down. It was kind of pathetic and embarrassing, but they were still out there until they shut it down. And Cubs was there letting people know the truth about Scientology, the truth about the Foundation for a Drug-Free World, and how it is a front group for Scientology. So nice job out there, Cubs. Nice jobs. MD Media 18 says Cubs is doing amazing. Truly. Truly. Okay, so let's see. Desert Dog says, so many people looked the other way and briskly walked by that table. They know. Oh, they know. They know. Let's make sure they all know too. If you haven't already shown some aloha to that like button, do so right now. Hit that subscribe as well. Now, let's talk about the UK. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw this story, but we're going to look at it. Scientology-linked UK rehab center falls foul of charity regulator. Charity Commission finds range of shortfalls at Narconon facility after observer investigation. Now, Narconon, as you guys know, is Scientology's rehab. They're like these franchises you can set up and then make a bunch of money. You can, defraud insurance companies, but as long as you give Scientology their cut, It's all good. It's all good and it's okay. Okay, so let's see. And there's looks like Narconon, United Kingdom, a Scientology-linked addiction charity accused of putting vulnerable people through psychological drills that left them traumatized and in trance-like states has been reprimanded by the Charity Commission. Narconon UK was ordered by the watchdog to address a range of shortfalls after an investigation identified breaches of charity law and issues with management. Issues with management. That is the understatement of the year when it comes to Scientology. Oh, no. We're not a cult. We just have issues with management. The charity, which runs a private rehab facility in rural East Sussex, which, by the way, is where St. Hill is and where I think these protests are going to be happening, must also be more transparent about its treatment approach and links to the Church of Scientology, the Charity Commission said. So they're totally being called out on the fact that they hide the fact that they are Scientology. The regulatory action comes after a 9-month investigation by the Observer revealed how people seeking help for drug and alcohol issues at Narconon's Heathfield facility were subjected to psychological drills akin to those used in Scientology auditing process. Some would suffer extreme reactions, breakdowns, paranoia, or going into trance-like states, according to ex-patients and staff who were also expected to complete the program. Independent experts said the drills were reminiscent of a military boot camp or obedience training and did not appear to be therapeutic. Okay, do you guys know what they're talking about there? They're talking about the training routines in Scientology. They're talking about objective processing or the survival rundown. Look at that wall. Thank you. Walk over to that wall. Thank you. Touch that wall. Thank you. Turn around. Thank you. All of the things. When they're learning how to do these processes, they're literally yelling at ashtrays. An ashtray is used in some of these drills. Sit down and you put the ashtray down. Thank you. Stand up. Thank you. And you do yell at the ashtray. So this is going on at this drug rehab facility. And you can only imagine when I look back at my childhood and my time in Scientology and how damaging those training routines were, those drills to make us not react, to flatten our buttons, to turn us into little robots without reactions, feelings, or emotions. I would say that backfired. That is what is happening in the drug rehab facility all over. Anytime you see Narconon or Scientology drug rehab, they're using Scientology, which does not help get people off drugs or keep them off drugs. And the trance-like states, that's all about those training routines. And I can see how, if you're withdrawing from drugs or you're struggling with addiction, the exact same things they have you do in Scientology at a Narconon would make your situation so much worse. So much worse. So this is huge that this is happening in the UK. The Observer investigation uncovered evidence of the charity downplaying its links to Scientology. A Narconon salesperson, and I love that they call them a Narconon salesperson, claimed in a call with an undercover reporter that the two organizations were not related. Oh, not related? Really? Narconon is on Scientology.org, like the Foundation for a Drug-Free World. They even say it's one of their front groups, but they don't call it a front group. A former patient said, "You're helpless there. And the only way out is blind submission or lose thousands of pounds. If you have had any concept of what the program actually was, or if I'd have had any concept of what the program actually was, I would have never signed up." In March, a month after the Observer investigation, the Charity Commission announced a regulatory compliance case into Narconon. The watchdog has a limited role in investigating safeguarding issues and is not responsible for overseeing substance misuse services. But its case looked at Narconon UK's compliance with charity law. examining its governance, management, and administration, its safeguarding policies, and its links to third parties. A spokesperson said last week it had concluded its compliance case, and after examining evidence and speaking to Narconon trustees, had identified a range of shortfalls. It made 2 findings of misconduct and or mismanagement related to a failure to ensure the minimum number of trustees were in place and to submit the charity's annual accounts and reports on time. We have issued the trustees with formal regulatory advice and guidance to address the issues and will follow up in 6 months. Time to review trustees' progress in doing so, a spokesperson said. The watchdog has provided the trustees with an action plan requiring more transparency about Narconon, Scientology links, and the nature and effectiveness of the program. Charities must ensure they are transparent about the nature of their work and any connections to non-charitable organizations. This is particularly important when providing a service so the potential beneficiaries can determine if it is the right one for them, the spokesperson added. So there is more to this article, and because we have so much to cover today, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to link it down below. You guys need to check this out. It is crazy and it is fabulous. It is all of the things. It really is. It is. So much happening there. So much. Keep your eye on the UK right now, people, especially going into this weekend. Keep an eye. I know Alex will keep us in the loop. You are welcome. And thank you for being out there and doing everything that you're doing as well and sharing it, making it all known, all of the things. Okay, now, everybody, let's take a deep breath and have a sip of our tea, coffee, or beverage. Oh, that's so good. I'm drinking a cinnamon tea today. I already have my coffee limit, but I've been loving this cinnamon tea this time of year. It's so fall. It's very demure, mindful. Okay, where are we? Oh, yes, we got to talk about this whole John Travolta, Lisa Marie Presley, Riley Keogh, Priscilla Presley situation. Okay. Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology did a video yesterday sharing some very interesting news and information about a tie with the Presley family and the Travolta family. And as you guys know, Priscilla Presley, who was married to Elvis, got into Scientology after their divorce when Lisa Marie Presley was quite young. And it was actually John Travolta that aided in getting her into Scientology. So they get into Scientology. They're close with the Travoltas over the years. We've heard, multiple reports and people behind the scenes who knew both said, yeah, they were very close. Lisa Marie Presley, prior to her death, would go hang out with John Travolta. Well, we're going to take a look at a clip from the video, but here is kind of the backstory here is, so you have Priscilla Presley. Her daughter is Lisa Marie Presley, the only child of Elvis Presley. Lisa Marie Presley has some children. Her son, Ben, tragically unalived himself in 2020. She has her daughter, Riley Keogh, who's also an actress. She's a really good actress. And then she has twins, which again, we're kind of back to the twin thing. Now that I think about it, she has twins with Michael Lockwood, her former husband. Riley Keogh, Elvis Presley's granddaughter, Lisa Marie Presley's daughter, it's being reported, donated the egg for Kelly Preston and John Travolta to have their son Ben, which is such an amazing gift and really speaks to their closeness and their friendship. Here's the thing. Is this why Lisa Marie Presley's memoir that came out was a little light on the whole Scientology thing? I mean, they got into it. She says she left Scientology. The book, even Riley Keogh talks quite a bit about, mental health treatment. So there are a lot of crumbs there that show like they are not necessarily down with Scientology. And I had thought, well, maybe they're playing it light because, Riley's dad, Danny Keogh, and his family are Scientologists and they don't want to blow that up, right? Because if you speak poorly of Scientology or even Lisa Marie saying she left and that being in the book is huge. Just that one part. because it is a crime. It's a suppressive act in Scientology to publicly say or publicly depart Scientology. It will get you declared a suppressive person. I wonder if they would declare somebody after they've passed away. Any my friends in the ex-Scientology community, my formers, have you guys ever heard of somebody being declared after they died? I have not, but it has me curious. It does. It actually really does. It does have me curious. Okay. So if this is the case, right? So then Kelly Preston has the baby, Ben, who's now like, I think he's like 13 or 12 or something now. That would make him the biological child of Riley Keogh. And that would make John Travolta's son the biological great grandson of Elvis Presley. So it is a very interesting story, the way everything comes together. There's an article on the Underground Bunker that talks about it without naming some names. Aaron on Growing Up in Scientology did this video, which we're going to look at a clip from, where he really gets into the details and how Scientology has been trying to control these two families with threats of disconnection. So let's take a look at that.
Where Scientology, through the threat of enforced familial disconnection, is once again able to control the lives and the actions and behaviors of people who would rather not have anything to do with Scientology. Riley Keogh does not give a damn about Scientology. Priscilla Presley does not give a damn about Scientology and is out of Scientology despite reports to the contrary. And yet, if they were to publicly do anything, John Travolta and his family would be forced to disconnect from them. Yet another example of Scientology exerting influence over people who aren't even actually members, just like they did to my family and my in-laws and my brother-in-law and my brother-in-law's wife and all this stuff. They were forced, even though they're not even Scientologists. My brother-in-law is not even a Scientologist. Well, you know, Heather's brother, not even a Scientologist. Heather's brother's wife, not even a Scientologist. Hate Scientology. Were forced to disconnect from us because each of their parents are Scientologists. And they were told that if they, two non-Scientologists, didn't disconnect from us, all of the rest of their families would disconnect from them.
So this is the interesting twisted thing, one of many twisted things. And by the way, Nisa, that's true. Elvis was a twin. That is true. And then Lisa Marie Presley went on to have twins. I heard it skips a generation. I don't really know how it works with twins, but that is interesting. But do you see how the manipulation and control works, even with people that don't want anything to do with Scientology, but because they might have a connection, a family connection, friends, a biological child, feel that they need to kind of keep things somewhat together, somewhat toe the line, not full-blown disavow Scientology and all of its abusive practices. Because as Aaron just said, it would create an issue with the Travoltas. Now, in my mind, I've always felt that it was Kelly Preston who was more the gung-ho Scientologist than John Travolta. John Travolta seemed to just kind of do what he wants. And it's been a mystery. We know that he's gotten in trouble repeatedly in Scientology, and that David Miscavige, there's been reports that he used to read through and see videos of John Travolta's auditing sessions, and Tom Cruise's too, by the way. Tom Cruise, you're probably not watching this, but when you said, don't record my auditing sessions, guess what? David Miscavige still recorded them. So David Miscavige looks at this stuff, mocks it, mocks John Travolta, makes fun of him over the years, all of the things. After Kelly Preston died, I was surprised that John Travolta himself didn't just publicly leave Scientology at that point. But then I'm like, okay, wait, though, he does have these kids, right? What are their ties? His daughter Ella is a young lady. She could have all kinds of ties still in Scientology. You just don't know. You know, Ben is, 13 years old or so. It's a lot. It's a lot to process, but it really speaks to the insidious ties and control around Scientology's harmful practice of disconnection, that you do something so beautiful for another family, for another human being, like donating an egg like that so that they can have another child, especially after the Travoltas, they lost their son, Jet, years ago. I think he was 16 or so when he passed. And John Travolta's son, his name is Ben. Riley Keogh's brother, his name was Ben. Now Ben Travolta was born before Ben Keogh, Lisa Marie's son, unalived himself, but it does appear that he would have been named after him, which is also kind of a nod to that. It is. Yeah. What a great bestie. Laura says, I feel so bad for Travolta. He has a broken heart. You can tell. Yeah, he has been spending a lot of time with the kids. They've been traveling. He's on Instagram, they're pretty active on Instagram and share a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Susie, thank you for being a member for 6 months. What? Yes. What in the name of Natalie's boo? Oh, Xenu. What in the name of Xenu? That's right. If you haven't heard, go to the shorts feed on my channel. I've been casually seeing Xenu, the galactic overlord that Scientology trash talks and has been trash talking forever. More on that later. So, what do you guys think about this? Honestly, I'm still wrapping my head around it. Apparently, this was something that wasn't really a secret within the Scientology close-knit community, that it was known and talked about. I have not heard it before. This is new to me, but it makes a lot of sense. And I think it's really also shedding a light on this harmful practice of disconnection when you cannot speak freely and openly about what you think about Scientology. And now it makes sense. Is that why why Lisa Marie Presley's memoir with Riley Keogh was so light on Scientology? Because we know that Lisa Marie Presley left Scientology years before her passing, and she was even going to testify in the Danny Masterson trial. But this would make sense that this might have put a different wrench in it if you didn't want to lose contact or have the Travoltas disconnect from you. And if you publicly leave Scientology, and again, it was announced, Lisa Marie Presley herself says in the book, she left Scientology, but that wasn't when she was alive. She said it, she recorded it when she was alive, but it's only coming out after she died. So is it a suppressive act? In the eyes of Scientology? Probably still. But I don't know. It's very interesting to me. And I think we're really going to, if people would just stop following this disconnection practice in Scientology, if enough people did it, Scientology can't force people to do it. And we're talking about families who, some of them aren't even Scientologists, and they're practicing disconnection because Scientology is making them, or these non-Scientologists can't have relationships with their family still in Scientology. So they're controlling people not even in Scientology with this. It's a total mess. It is, Atkins. I feel like mess is like putting it mildly at that point. Joe says she wouldn't want to rock the boat. That is true. That is true. Julie Markham says, the Eye of the Tiger short cracked me up and my husband. I'm glad you liked it. If you guys didn't see it, you can go see it on my channel. I was channeling my Eye of the Tiger. Don't. Just that whole vibe, that whole energy. And what's funny is I did that video. I was wearing my robe and leaf blowing basically in the backyard. And someone had commented on it. Oh, and I love what you wore for the video, that robe and then the slippers with socks. That was hilarious. I'm like, girl, that's like what I wear on the daily. I didn't get dressed for that video. I just walked outside. This is what my neighbors see. They'd probably like me to stop doing that, but hey, I'm probably not going to stop because I've gotten very comfortable with it. I love being in a robe and socks and slippers and doing household chores outside. I don't know. It's just comfortable. Although I do need to wash that robe after being outside for so long in it. But I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you thought it was funny, Susan. Laura, I love being silly. Same. It brings balance. It brings balance to a lot of the heavy topics that I talk about here on this channel when it comes to Scientology. It really does. Marcy, thank you. I'm glad you liked it too. I'm going to do more of that stuff because I got to have fun. I just got to have fun and balance it out. Okay, there's a couple more things that I want to share with you guys today that I'm going to have to do in separate videos because one of them, I had to do a little bit of a deep dive, but it has to do with a prominent, iconic female rap artist trying to recruit somebody into Scientology, and a wicked web that came from that afterwards. I'm going to do a video. I'm probably going to do that video this afternoon. I think I understand more about it, but I'm going to be tackling that. Lisa Pete says, I need to get a comfy robe. Yeah, me too. I'm looking for the full-blown blankets that you can wear. You know, I've been looking at a couple of them on Amazon. They're like, basically, you wear this blanket. I'm like, that would be like wearing my robe outside. I got to shake it up for the neighbors because they've just seen me in that blue aqua colored robe all the time. I got to shake it up. So I'm looking at possibly wearing a blanket and going that route. But yeah, Marcy says her neighbors have seen worse. The night of the Northern Lights, I was out in my street. It was like 9:30, 9:45 at night with my phone, just amazed. I was standing in the middle of the street and the Northern Lights, you could see them with the naked eye. We're all around. It was incredible. And I had texted my neighbor, hey, you got to come outside and see this. And then I remembered like, oh, here I am again in the robe, hair all jacked up, in my slippers and socks. But I'm like, they're used to it. They're used to it. Atkins says a good blanket is hard to find. Ruth, I'm glad you're here. You got to catch up. Nat TV 22. Is Lady Gaga a Scientologist? No, not that I'm aware of. I've not heard anything like that. What do you know, Nat TV 22? Tell me if you know something. You can always email me, Natalie@lifeafteraoccult.com. All right, everybody, whether you're in your robe or not and getting on with your day, you know, the most important thing about today is that you have an amazing cult-free day.